It is time to look at some of these fantastic fish ready for the expo. Yes, coming up in Greater Toronto area in Mississauga is the Aquarium Expo, the Aquatic Expo, I should say. And also, we're going to be featuring some of these fish. Hi, Steve. Welcome to the program. I see some have already joined. And if you're just watching this on the replay, please be sure to well, shall I say, hit the replay button. Hello, Skitty Nona. Welcome, everyone. And what we're looking at are some of the fish. These particular cichlids are actually going to be at the expo. We're going to take them and we're going to feature them. I may take this big guy and put him in the show. There's going to be a show at the expo. I just think he's an outstanding fish. I don't know how you think about that. Welcome, Robert and Big Guppy, Steve Michaels. Welcome, everyone. Now, I don't know about these fish when they get transported and what they look like in a tank for a exhibition or a show. And Jeff, thank you so much. Of course, where would I be without my routine moderators? But basically, these particular fish, I have moved them from one tank to another, and they don't lose their spots. They don't lose their color. That is just amazing. Because if you're going to show a fish and you end up putting it into a tank, removing it, and it just looks bland, these fish really do hold their color well. So the idea is we grew them up, and they're not full size yet, but they're certainly getting there. They're certainly on the larger size, but we'll have smaller ones available too. But look at these great fish. That's something that I think are quite awesome, and we're looking forward to having them. Peplin Creek Aquatics, thank you for the hello. And as always, thank you all for giving me the thumbs up if you're interested in this content. We're talking about fish rooms tonight, and specifically we're going to talk about some of the fish that we might have at the expo. Now, just to give you an inkling, for sale will be some of these koi angels, but not this particular size. These are too small. But we have some that are a little larger, and I have an announcement to make a little later. Just want to mention it, and we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So anyway, this is koi angels from a beautiful pair. Both the male and female are they've got full coverage on their bodies. So they're young right now, and they don't have the coverage of the orange or red color on their bodies. But they will get them, and the parents, both the male and female parents of these particular fish, are going to be very full. There's going to be some really nice fish in there. Now, coming right along is our beautiful sunset angels. These sunset angels that we acquired, they're really looking nice, and they're very aggressive, but I've noticed that they're aggressive, but they don't shred or mess with each other's fins. Even though there's a few of them that have some faults, and we're going to probably not use those in our breeding. Sideshow, welcome. Sideshow Cody B. Now, I would say this, that, I mean, look at this fish right here. That is just a gorgeous fish. To me, it's a perfect fish because I love the color in the dorsal. It just helps to, emphasize the dorsal. And look at the fins. They're not too wild, but they are very long. That, to me, is the best fish in this tank. I don't know what you think. Always leave a comment about what you think there. Now, it's like this one has a lot of veil tail in it, but I don't know. It kind of looks shredded if you ask me. I like this one, for example, that would have less of a veil, but more of a real color to it. Yes, Todd River Aquatics, John. Thank you, John, for coming. And it is morning, yes, in Australia. I do these late live streams because we can pick up a lot of great friends down under. Yep, sharp fins. I like the sharp fins. Now this one is a little shorter, but this would probably be a good mate for one of these ones with longer. And then of course the progeny will come out. A lot of them will come out just perfect. Just perfect. So watch these guys. Now these are very well trained. Up to the top, everyone. Look at that. All I had to do was raise my hand. They're well trained. Are your fishes well trained? Yeah, good coverage on these fish. When I first got them, I wasn't so excited, but they're starting to color up, and I think as they get older, they will even do so more so. So these are a nice fish. They will make some really nice ones. We will have at the upcoming expo available for the public some of these brothers and sisters. Not these particular ones. These are kept for our breeders. But as you can see, these turquoise discus are just sensational. We've got another pairing in here. This is the male. He's pretty beautiful. Hey, Stubbs, thank you. And if you're coming to the expo, Stubbs, don't let me forget. If you're coming, I want to know if you're going to bring me some barbs. If you're bringing me some barbs, maybe we can, definitely make some arrangements. I'm looking specifically to get back some of my checkered barbs and some ruby barbs in particular. Those are the barbs that I've kind of lost. I have some male ruby barbs, but the females don't seem to last around here. I don't know why. So Fish Fam link, thank you. And speaking of the link, I haven't posted that I'm live streaming tonight on the Fish Fam website. I need to do that. Probably put in a regular Friday night deal for everybody. Motor City Aquatics, thank you for joining. And what we have here is some of these most beautiful turquoise discus, and there will be some available at the expo. We're going to bring some. We don't know what the temperatures will be like inside the expo, but we're going to give it a try, see what we can do to get some, get it warm enough for the discus. Let's see, I wanted to share with you guys something interesting this week, and that is an update on the red lizards. So we had a spawn not too long ago. I don't know if it was last week that we pulled them out. As you can see, I'm very amazed because in this spawn, there's been very few deaths. I don't know if there's any deaths in there right now. It looks like there's two on the bottom. They're always on the bottom. But, can I see them? There they are. They're alive. Those are alive. Yeah, they're doing very well in this particular spawn. I'm very happy about that. And I'm afraid to move them. I've moved those 6 others that we had that were growing. They're even bigger than these, and most all of them died. So I think it was temperature. When something happens wrong in a fish room, it's very important to understand why. Something happens. If something happens and you don't know why, well then you're going to be messed up. But if you understand why, then you can learn from it. That's the way I view it. So what happened was I took the box right here and I took it and I put it on this particular tank. I wanted to mix them with these German blue rams because I'm feeding this tank with baby brine shrimp, and it would be ideal for the red lizards to grow out in. But after putting the breeder box here, acclimating them, and after a few days, putting them into the tank, they just faded away and started dying off. Then I realized that the heater wasn't plugged in. So I started figuring out that maybe it was just too cold for them. As youngsters, red lizards do okay, but I do think they do need to have some temperature. So let's see what I got here. Now I have one of these temperature meters. This is the one I use. I like it the best, but I found out that when you get one or two, I've got 2 now, and comparing the 2, they aren't the same when it comes to calibration. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So I'm going to just hold it right here with the same numbers, and I'm going to give you the calibration. So it says 81.7, 81.5, 81.3, 81.3. So basically, and that is being held. And when I hold it in, you know, it says 82. Let's see if I'm going to hold it really flat against, okay, yeah. If you hold it in the same exact position, I'm getting 80, 81, right? Okay, now we're going to take another one of these, identical model and everything. And I guess first I would have to find it. Here it is. I see it. Okay, and here's the other one. All right. Let's see what we got. They both have the same setting for the E factor. I'm going to hold it in the same exact position. This one, see, the E factor, the is 0.93. Average holds to 83. Now that's a surprise. Usually this one doesn't give the same one. 83. This one is also says 0.93, and I hold it, it says 82. Well, that's interesting, because this one is the rubber band around it. Usually this one is exactly 2 degrees warmer than the other one. Now, I'm going to have to change batteries tomorrow to see if that makes a difference. I'd be very curious. This one's definitely coming in warmer when it usually comes in 2 degrees cooler. The beeping you hear is because 83 is outside the tolerance. You set that value so that you can just point and shoot and listen for a beep. If I click and I get a beep, then it's like, oh, pay attention to this tank. Now, when it was cooler, when I had the red lizards in there, and then I realized when that particular heater wasn't plugged in, that's when I realized I had to do something. Now, just so you know, that is a 78 watt standard heater. It's an Acreon, so it's not adjustable. It's just going to be, it just seems to be 78 degree setting. So hi Benjamin Peters, welcome, and Shady Grady, of course. Oh, and Shady Grady, you got your image out. Oh, that's great. I like that. And your on your account. That's really nice. So this is someone asked me. This is an Ink Bird Plus, Ink IFT04. And anyway, I'll have to play around with the two of them. Having two of them is very interesting because what it does is it allows you to compare. And then once you compare, you can see or ask the question, what's going on here? Now what I've done is I plugged it back in and the temperature went up. So apparently it was too cold. Now I don't know, did it survive the last one? I don't know if I see. Oh, there it is. Yep. It's on the glass right there. There is our last red lizard. It survived in this. There were only 6 total out of that group. And it looks like only 1 survived so far. So I'm going to give it some time, but I'll tell you, I'm really happy about this group over here because this shows some really good numbers, and I've had some better numbers in the past. So let's see what we can do. Now let's see. It's okay. We have a red lizard on the roof there. It looks like the female. That's the same female that actually laid the egg. That's the mother to this spawn. She's still in there. I haven't taken her out. And it looks like a tail is sticking out of the cave. So who knows? Maybe she's going to spawn right away again. I don't know. Now this couldn't be that lucky and have another spawn already done, right? Did I miss having any spawns? Let's take a look. I don't think they were trapped. I haven't noticed anyway. But that happened last time, right? We could just double check by looking in there. You see anything? Let me try taking a flashlight. Well, I got a flashlight right here. Okay. Let's see if I can spot anything. I have it turned just... No, I can't tell. I can't tell right now if there's any eggs in there. Maybe I will be able to. I would have to turn. Looks like when I put it last in. But look at that female. Here she comes. This is what happens. We're looking at some live behavior. She hangs out around the cave, right? That's what she does. And she just hangs out, and he starts whipping his tail when he detects that somebody's nearby. And so she'll start doing her thing and showing off, and that's quite normal. But he'll start waving his tail and trying to coax her to come in, and once they're inside, he starts to do his mating ritual dance, and that will cause her to want to lay eggs, and then of course he fertilizes them and takes care of them. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so now, thank you, Shady Grady. That was a very nice compliment. I don't know what other live streams going on right now, but I know there's other live streams, and I don't choose my live stream because of other people. I just kind of go when I need to go, and because you can always watch it in recording mode. I know Saturday nights, we usually pick up Tom. He's not usually on Friday nights, but I noticed Tom of TM Aquatics will be with us on a Saturday. But that's okay, you know, because he usually always watches the replay, and he can do that. Now, I wanted to point out some beautiful fish. Now, these are just tiny fish, but we will have a few of these at the Expo also. These little boogers, these little blue eyes, these are Australian fish. These little blue-eyed luminatus are quite nice. These are my tiniest batch right now. And they hang out together right at the surface. And look at them. There's a male right there. I see some really nice. He's kind of flashing, and he's so young. Look, he's so young. We'll have some older ones at the Expo. They're a nice fish, and they're really quite easy to breed. So in this fish, we have the hatching tanks. So this one has mops in it right now, but I'm not sure about these mops. Thank you, Jeff. Yes, this tank is the next to go. Now I have 2 collected mops from the grow out center where the adults are, and I've collected them. This one I brought home tonight, and so we're going to put them in this tank. So this one's going to start throwing mops in there. So I'll just watch for any fry at the surface. Now in this tank I don't see any fry, but I'm not sure what happened with this group. There is a possibility that I had to, in order to get rid of all the worms, I shall say flatworms. What do you call those? Planaria and other such garbage that was growing in here because they were brought in, the snails that were there. Here's an example of a tank I bleached because of the snails. There were just so many. I don't want them going after the fry, so this will be cleaned out tonight. But these 2 are ready to go, so I'm going to start putting mops in here. By the time these start hatching, then I'll start putting them in here. And then when these start hatching, I'll put them in here. By that point, I'll need another tank, and any that hatched in here will be old enough they can be brought down to this tank and grown out. So this is what you see. These are ones that were brought down from above, and they're going to be in no time fish that will be put into our either a breeding tank or sold. Yeah, they're nice. I also see a couple of rams in here. I don't know if you see them right there. A black ram and a gold ram. Now, what those are is every once in a while when I have a batch, like I had a breeder box here with some rams on it, and then when I get like, if they die off and I only have two or three, five, six maybe, it's like not worth bringing them up or have dedicating a tank. So I will just toss them into this tank. And they're very tiny usually, and there's only six left. And you know what? With all these plants and everything, they usually survive. And I just forget about them. And then I come back and I look, oh, there's a ram. It's a nice size too. So this fish is going to be probably pulled out and brought with the other fish that I took over last week. I don't have any black ram fry here at the house anymore. There's some here, very tiny, but they are, I think, mostly gold rams. I didn't see, there's one black one right there. But these are on baby brine shrimp now. They're doing okay. It's just that there was probably 1,000 to begin with, and I don't know what happened to them, but I couldn't seem to, sometimes I just can't get them to, I don't know, they just don't survive. And I think the premature black rams die out, and the gold rams, they tend to do well. All right, so let me see what else we got going on tonight. There is definitely some activity over here on the rack, but it's not really activity. I'm still not caught up with my work. We're getting ready for the Expo, and these tanks over here haven't done much, but I do have something new. So let's take a look at our new upper. This is at the penthouse. The penthouse tanks now have pairs of black rams in them. Let's take a look. We're going to look at our first tank, this pair. Our black rams, some of them have a blue spot or two, but they're very dark. Now, when they're younger, they don't look so dark. When you remember the one we were just looking at, it didn't look like a black ram, but it is a black ram. It'll get as black as these when it gets to adulthood. So you see a male and a female here. This is a female, there's the male. And there's a pair. They just paired off. They've never laid. They're brand new. In other words, they're just reaching maturity now. And I put a plate, and I put a plate behind a hide. Now that hide is nothing more than a tile sitting up, but there is a plate behind there. You can see it barely right there. Yeah, and these rams, they were basically hanging out together, trying to spawn in a corner of a community tank from the place where we had growing up our breeders, and so I brought them over. Now this is another tank, another pair of black rams. So we have tank number 2. Hey Meyer, how are you? And welcome to Friday night. It's always good to see you. Hello, hello. And we're looking at our black rams. I know you've always shown interest in the black rams, so here we have these black rams. I think they were originally imported from Israel, so that's where their origins are. They came from a pair that produced a spawn of all blacks, no golds, but you can see there's some blue dots. Interesting. And Meyer, if you have any comments about coloration here, there is some. They're still getting, the older they get, the darker they get. This one looks like it has some color, a little reddish in it. Look at the ventral fins. It's going to be a beautiful fish, really. Now, look at this. I took this cave that I've had it sitting around a long time. I says, wait a minute. If I turn it and put it on end, voila, I've got a hide. So now I have this perfect place to lay eggs. So they have one there, and they have one back in the corner, which probably needs to be pushed behind the hide if I want to make it so that it's kind of a secret place. That might be something I need to do. But I've already been talking to my supplier of caves, and she's going to produce some of these kinds of hides, and then I can offer them on the website FishEZ.ca. And I'm going to offer these hides, make it very easy for people to create places for their ramps. Here's pair number 3. As you can see, pair number 3 has they're looking good. Again, another great pair. I'm anxious to see which pair relays first. They're getting live food treatments, so they're getting grindle worms, and they're getting live baby brine shrimp, and twice, maybe even, yeah, twice a day, morning and night. So these guys are, they're not being, there's no hesitation on getting some action here. Now, this is the penthouse 1, 2, and 3. So let's look over here at tanks. Oh, wait a minute here. What is this? This is what I had an order for live foods, and she ordered them on FishEZ.ca. This is green water, and this is vinegar eels, and this is paramecia. And the paramecia, and this is like the variety pack. Yeah, she ordered all of them. You can order more than one on the website, and she ordered them, and this is what you get when you have a pickup. So in other words, if you're in the greater Toronto area, you can pick these up, and they look like this. So there is, of course, a lot more quantity. If you get it mailed to you, you still get a you can get all these items, but they'll come in a plastic bag, sealed, double sealed. In fact, I do a double bagging, and they come straight to your house. So let me see. Let's go look at these tanks now. This is the penthouse on the other side, and this is pair number 4. And as you can see, they're doing well. It's kind of bluish. I don't know why it's so blue. My camera is making it blue. It's kind of white light. I don't know. Can't see them too great. There we go. That pair. Another pairing. These are all from the same batch, our same star performer pairs. Oh yeah, they're very peaceful. There's something about the aggression that you normally see in black rams, but in this particular group, the aggression is not there. I don't know why, but I'm not complaining. So, thanks for the thumbs up, everyone. And I noticed that, yeah, there's quite a few of you connected. Now, look at the next pair. We'll take a look at, this is pair number 6. Pair number 6. They're just dying. Look at the female. I mean, she's dying. She's going to be laying. This I think might be the first pair to lay, because her tube is starting to come out. So I'm. Oh, she's picking me out. But they've got a dish here in the front, and they've got a hide. Every tank's got a hide with another flower pot bottom on the back, and Medina Aquatics, yes, thank you. Thank you for your membership too. I noticed you joined recently, and speaking of black rams, I am going to be posting the videos I did on black rams for the membership very soon. It's just been, the expo has been like very time draining, and this is our pair number 7. I just wanted to point out, I have 7 pairs now situated. We're going to be in high production very soon. And I don't know if you realize, but these 7 pairs are probably only 1/3 of the pairs that we have. So there's probably about 20 pair. and the rest of the pairs are all at the grow out and in their tanks, and I will be obviously collecting those eggs too. So we're going to be in a very short time messing with thousands of black rams. So the idea is, it's about time that we started producing some. So we're going to see how that works. We're going to be trying all kinds of methods to get them, but we're going to do something a little untypical, and we're going to try letting the black ram pairs raise their own fry in these tanks. These are ones that are set aside to see if they will raise their own, because when I tried doing it artificially, it's been tough. So what's going to be required is these tanks up here. This is the roof of my fish room. Give you an overall perspective. Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for the Labor Day special. And that is from Mayor. Thank you so much. That is awesome. It's very warm up here, so what I find is that even though I have heaters in there, I don't even think they really come on, because the room right now is like 86, which means, I mean, it's quite warm in here, but the upper section of the room is going to be these tanks, and these tanks, well, look, these tanks on the left are 4 gallons, and they're 5.5 gallons on the right. So these are the bigger 5.5 gallons. So these guys are all going to be producing, and I think the warmth, they do quite well. So it'll be at least 82, 83 for them, and hopefully they'll do well. But I have all the live foods necessary. Now what I need to do is be able to do fresh water. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this kind of contraption. This is an overflow, and we're going to use the overflow, but in a special way. I'm going to be able to take the overflow. I'm going to devise one where the holes for the overflow are not so high. They're going to be lower. So I'm going to be able to hook this up onto the tank, and I'm just going to pull it open, hook it on the tank, and the water will then drain out to about half. And you might ask, well, what is that going to do? Well, simply put, what that will do is, with fry in the tank, the overflow, which, let me see if you can see on the inside, you see that there's the holes at the top, but I can take this sponge material and push it up over the holes, and the fry can't get sucked out. Well, it's just going to dribble out. And so dribbling out means there's not going to be a hard flow, not a suction that's going to suck out the fry. No way. What's going to happen is that these fish are going to get water changes, and I'll be able to keep up with that as they raise the fry in there. I'll be feeding heavily and changing water in such a way that they'll get it. Now, how can I replenish the water? Well, I have my water right here, and of course I can quickly refill. But refilling is not the issue when you have fry in the tank. The issue is not sucking out the fry when you want to drain the tank, right? So we've got, oh, now see, these guys are hanging out in the back. Why are they hanging on the back? There's no eggs back there, is there? They went to the back. I don't know if they're just frightened of me. Maybe they're camera shy. But I still anxious to find out if I have any babies. I might just leave them alone. Actually, looking at the female, she hasn't dropped her eggs, so I'm okay. She's just hanging out back there. That's a great idea. If they feel like they're secure back there and they can defend their... And I let them see each other. So this is like between the two tanks, they go after each other. It causes the aggression of the male to, instead of going after the female, to go after the neighbors. Okay, so that's another great thing to do. And I will probably, I'm not sure, I might be taking out my algae Plecos. They're just in there for the algae, but just to ensure that there's no issues, I'll probably pull them out here soon. Those are also a fish we'll have at the Expo. These are short-finned red ancestris. We have plenty of those for sale. In fact, quite a few, and so they're going to be available. And I'm going to make an announcement in shortly. I have 4 tanks on the right, 4 tanks on the left. This is the only tank that doesn't have black rams in it. This is my tank of threadfin rainbows. As you can see, 1 female and a slew of males. I haven't had any success with them, but what I'm going to do, I think, is I'm going to remove some of the males. I'll tell you why. I had a lot of success last year or 2 ago, maybe 2 years ago, and I was trying to replicate the success I had before, but I think... oh, thank you, Stubbs, for repeating the post. The answer to that is, of course, I send those green water, vinegar eels, everything. I send it to the U.S. If you go to FishEZ.ca, and if you select shipping to USA, you'll get the shipping to USA part. So just be sure to select the right shipping to where you are in the world, even Australia. So those in Australia can also get those cultures. And yeah, I don't have an issue, but if you, I am working out a problem with one fella in Texas who says that they're not arriving live, in his case, the paramecia, that is, and he's saying that it's too hot. So cold is not a problem. I can send it out in the wintertime even, and the fish will be just, I mean, the paramecia will be just fine. Cultures do fine in the cold. They don't do so well in the hot, apparently. So we're finding that out. So it may mean in heated areas where it's just too hot, they may have to be shipped over 2-day or overnight. That might be the only way to do it. So that's the answer to that question. Yeah, Pelham Aquatics, Michigan's no problem. Michigan's no problem. I ship all over the world, really, because they're not fish. They're just, it's just starters. So just go to the website, get the details. It's FishEZ.ca, and go to the store, and that's all. I don't have fish posted there. Any fish that we have available, if you really want to see what we have in our fish room, you can go to aquarium.biz. That is the business that's been set up for Aqua Malik and FishEZ. If you go to aquarium.biz and click on the fish availability, or fish availability button, you'll see everything that we have. It's all listed there. Angels, Plecos, rams, everything. Let's see. That's the great news from the black rams, but of course, Mayor, come on, Meyer, if you want to get some black rams, yes, not a problem. Set you up, and we'll set you up with the best. You can pick. I want some fry from tank number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so somebody asked about yeah, I got some tiger barbs. These are just tiger barbs. Those are the red glowing fish. They're just the ones you get from Singapore. I love red fish, but I wanted to see what these fish were all about, so I got some. They're pretty awesome. I just love red fish. You know, I have Odessas, and we're going to be talking more about the Odessas. Oh, and at the Expo we will have some of these. These are German blues, of course. The German blue is, of course, just a phenomenal, spectacular fish. I mean, who can really knock the colors of a German blue ram? And there's that male in there. There's some females in here. I'm waiting for a spawn. I don't know if you're going to spawn over in the corner or what. I put a plate in there, but it doesn't seem to be given much attention. This is just a community tank. We have plenty of these angels. These are, in fact, long-tailed or long-finned. Platinum, some of them have pearl scale. And these will be our staple. There's a pearl scale one right there. Look at the pearl scale. That is a beautiful angelfish. They will all be at the expo, so you can pick up your some of aquarium.biz fish from there. And Medina, thank you so much. That is very kind of you to post the super chat. I do want to do what I can to help all the members out, and you being a member, I really appreciate that. We're going to have, we may have some cardinals at the show. We're going to receive a batch of cardinals also to post at the show, but we'll see. We'll see about that, how that works out. We have to get them. We only have about 100 coming, but I'd like to get a few for restocking what I have. I love cardinals just to add to a tank, a community tank. I think every community tank should have some of these cardinals. Mine always go to the back. Wherever I'm standing, if I stand over here, they will go to the back. There they go. They don't like to be in the front. They like to hide in the plants. I'm going to take all these valves. I'm going to sell them also at the expo. I'm going to keep just what I have in that potted plant. The valve is a little long for me. I don't think I need them. And I'd love to find a short variety of valve. There is some kinds of plants that are like that. On the other hand, the tiger barbs follow me around. That's something else I noticed about them. These are the ones, they just come right up to the front, and they're always begging. So they're more of a people fish. If you're interested in people fish, yeah, all these were bred, these hill streams were bred at Aqua Malik's. We have a tank that's just producing them right and left. And so these hill streams are fun to watch. They're extremely playful, and I really enjoy them. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but they've cleaned up this tank quite a bit. But we have a couple of tanks that are just so full of algae. They were so full of algae that you couldn't hardly see a thing. And these leaves were covered in algae. These leaves of these crypts. Now, I got rid of the algae. Very simple method. Very simple, but maybe not the cheapest, okay? But it works. I got an army of these mono shrimp. So these guys are working away, and they, in 1 week's time, you have almost completely removed all the algae off all the plants, and it was pretty thick. See this one here still has some algae on it, but just check it next week, you'll see. Boom. The Canadian Expo. Can somebody please post the link? It is the Canadian Expo is the 15th and 16th of this month. It's in 2 weeks, so 2 weeks from today. You will be able to find me at the booth called aquarium.biz, and you can meet me in person. And also there will be at this booth Aqua Malik, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody we always see on our channels that are here, of course, locally. We know that some of you are in the States and you won't make it, but you know, maybe one day, especially if we go again. Yeah, Joe, thank you for joining us tonight. And so what I do is I have another tank here, and this is a small tank that I had a couple of we had a couple of shrimp in it, and the algae just grew crazy. You know, it's just all algae, nothing. I mean, you can't see it. I don't even have a light on it right now because of the algae issue. But I threw in 5 or 6 Amano shrimp, and a week later, it's just covered at the bottom with shrimp droppings. If you know what it looks like. They look like little tubular green droppings, like, you might say mouse poop or something like that, little spots. But it converts all the algae into into processed food, and voila, the tank is looking great. So that's one thing. We're going to have a challenge one day, and before I die, I'm definitely going to get into the process of actually trying to breed a mono shrimp, because they have to. I've many times they get to the point where they're breeding, and I'm having all kinds of fry or not fry. What's the word? Cytotes that come off of the shrimp, but they have to be put into salt water and fed with rotifers for a while, and then is it rotifers, or they have to be fed a certain way, and then they have to be at another certain age be brought back into fresh water. That's their cycle. So there's one right there. Maybe she's gonna molt. Many of them are molting now. They've been in my tanks a week. They've been eating away, getting fat, because at the pet shop where I picked these up, they didn't probably get much food. But these guys are starting to molt, and then after they molt, eventually they'll fill up with eggs. The only sad thing is I didn't watch it closely. The girl who picked out the mono shrimp, she grabbed all the big ones. I don't even know if she understood the difference between a male and a female, because I think I got all females. I got a dozen, but I got all females. I know because I had some. I do have a few others from previous purchases, but the mono shrimp are the best because, in essence, no chemicals. It's all natural. They don't harm other fish. They just graze all day long on all the mess. And look what they're doing to these columba plants. They go through and just clean them up. The light has put algae on them, and these guys are just little machines. They do that 24/7. Yeah, I love mono shrimp for that reason. And what you do is, if you have plants, especially if you have like a potted plant or something, you want to get rid of the algae on it. You take that and put it into a small tank, maybe this size, or just like a large betta tank. It's not that big, but it's got the one this is designed to have dividers, but I don't use the dividers. I just use it as a small tank because it fits there, or a 2.5 gallon. And don't feed them. Don't feed them anything. Just put the plants in there. Let them eat the algae, because if you feed them, they'll tend to not bother with the algae so much. But if they are, if they are hungry, they will eat the algae to death. Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Meyer. This is yes. This is a probably a 3-gallon support tank. That's what I got. Here we have Daphnia magna. I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to actually change the water from this point. Let's do a feeding. In fact, I wanted to do a feeding tonight with you guys because I'm going to show you some fish that are, I would love to breed, but I haven't had success yet, but I'm still working on it. They're West African cichlids, and I've demonstrated them before. But let's take a peeky at what they look like. Well, to bring them out, I'm going to get the food first. So let's see. I'll show you how I do that. I'm going to set the phone down in the stand without letting it fall. Hopefully it won't fall. All right. And so what I'm going to do, let's turn the camera a little bit. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, we need to, there's too many Daphnia in this one. So in this one in particular, the Daphnia is going to crash if it just overdoes too much. And so it's time to harvest. So I'm just going to lift the lid. Then I'm going to use a what we call a Daphnia net, or no, brine shrimp net. Which I don't it's over here. Okay, so this is a this is what it looks like. It's a very fine net, very fine material, and it's used for brine shrimp. But I use it for the Daphnia too because I don't Pelham. Where are you located again? I could send some Daphnia through the mail. We could try it out. If I'm not opposed to that. I'd like to find out if it can be sent and they would survive. Would you be interested in trying it out with me? Are you in Michigan? Is that what you said? If so, I can make that arrangement. Michigan, yeah. That's not far, so it wouldn't take too terribly long. Do you have any green water? Do you use green water? If you because I'm going to demonstrate anyway how to feed them anyway because I'm going to actually go through right now. This is Daphnia magna. So I'm going to take this net and I'm going to put it in a jar like this. So I'm going to just set it down like this. Actually, I'll just use another jar. It's the same size because I know I'm not going to fill it up. So I'm going to do this, and I want to just siphon. If I pick up the tank and just pour it, I'll make a mess because this doesn't pour well. It doesn't have a pouring spout. Also, the Daphnia tend, if you have any startled, they'll all dive to the bottom. They just will dive to the bottom. So I'm just going to try this. I'm going to take a tube and see if I can get some out. Suck them out. And yeah, quite a few. And I'm just siphoning out the Daphnia along with, try to get a lot of them because this is going to grow back. They produce so fast. There's lots of tiny ones in here, so they'll be big in no time. So I have it marked, a little mark to tell me how much water I want to change to. Boom. That's it. Now, there might be some in the tube, so I'm going to empty the tube. Now, this is the Daphnia. Let's go feed the Daphnia to the fish. And I want to show these fish to you because it's pretty exciting. Let's go take a look and see if I have two little angels in here because there was the male and the female were showing a lot of signs of aggression. So I'm going to just pour in the Daphnia. There they go. The angels are going to get a lot of them, but okay, there we go. Got a nice stream, and I'm going to put some over here to the cribs. These are true cribensis. These are not pulchers. These are the tenei, what used to be called the teneitis. And I'm going to just finish the net. They love them. This is a beautiful pair. No spawns yet, but they're just gorgeous. See if I can bring the light out just so you can see them. Okay, so here in this tank, what I'm trying to show you is the pair. There's a female in the back. She's getting beat up quite a bit. She will actually disappear for days on end. And the male here, when he sees her, he chases her off. I don't know, they used to be very compatible. In fact, the female used to chase the male, but this is the male. So West African cichlid, they got kind of like white lips. And then the female, she's back there. Hope she gets some Daphnia. That's what I really wanted to do, is to bring them out. I might take the angels out. They didn't have the same effect I'd hoped to because they didn't stop the aggression. I thought, well, maybe if he was aggressive towards the angels, he would be chasing them and not give attention to her, but he seems to ignore the angels. And here's our pair, cribensis, eating the Daphnia. Gorgeous pair, look at that. There we go. Now we got a nice scene. Wow. Just gorgeous colors. Not your normal crebensis. Of course, crebensis, or poultures, I should say. Those fish are, I had them when I was a kid, and I didn't even know about these others, West African cichlids. And they're gorgeous too. They really are a gorgeous fish. But look at the colors in this one. That little pattern in the tail. He even looks like he has a chip out of his tail, but that's not a chip. That's just a coloration. There's nothing missing. They're a very compatible pair. Yeah, hoping to get a spawn out of them. That would be so nice. Not cheap either, and hard to find. So that's why I want to get some fry out of these before anything happens. But I'm going to start playing around with the pH. I'm going to start dropping the pH and getting it down. Now I have some hides in here. This little castle or archway has a hole, and it has a little inside cavity. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 caves in this tank. I mean, this female has everywhere to hide, and at least that's probably what's kept her alive. I don't know. She has places to hide, and anyway, that's the deal. Here is some of my red fish. Yep, old red fish. I've got barbs everywhere here. Odessas and tiger barbs and hexazonas in here. These are the young ones I raised recently. We may have remember those when a couple weeks back. Well, a month or two. I'm ready to put the pairs back together. Would be nice. So that's what we did. Now let's go back to our what do I do now with the what am I going to do now with the Daphnia, right? Okay. So I'm not having success holding the camera up on this. Okay, so hopefully it will. Come on. Let's get it going. I don't want it to fall. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Daphnia and I'm going to give them a solution. One solution that I'm going to give them is, now this is the water that we took out, but we strained it with the, we took out all of the Daphnia. As you can see, it's kind of murky, but there's no Daphnia. So that tells me that the brine shrimp net worked very well, and we strained it all out, so I'm going to pour that out. I don't need that. Alexa, fish room on. Must be that time. And Alexa, overhead lights, 100%. Get you some light. Let there be light. And here we go. So I'm going to take probably this much. Okay, so about 2/3. I'm going to get some green water. I'm going to fill it up with green water, but I'm also going to feed them something else. So we're going to get the green water going. Let me come over here. And just to do a quick commercial, it's not a commercial, but a quick break. I want to show you something I see that's out in this tank. This is my Ancestris albino, but for some reason this fish is white. It's so white that the camera doesn't even pick up on it. This is the most unusual bushy-nosed pleco, but it's like white. I don't know if we're going to get any breeding out of it. Yeah, it's like platinum for sure. I mean, it doesn't even have, like, even the eyes are not red. They're like white. They're like platinum. I've had a couple of them already, but unfortunately, no, I don't see pink eyes. There's just maybe a tiny spot in the center that's pinkish, but the eye itself, let me see if I can get real close what happens. Okay, you see the eye? Let's see if I can zoom. This camera has several lenses. Yeah. But since it's up here in the front, I wanted to show this to you. Outside in aquatics. Well, thank you for joining us. Sorry that it's not the most convenient time, but this is yeah, it's very white. All I gotta say is on this black sand, on the black sand, it looks like it looks totally platinum. Yeah, Snow White. But I had a big male and I had several others, but they died, and I don't know why. So I do know that some of the very white plecos that Greg Sage has raised with his green dragons, he tells me how difficult they are to raise and breed. So I believe him. But anyway, we'll see what happens to this girl. I think it's a female. Maybe she'll breed. But I certainly hope so. Now, I came over here because I wanted to show you the green water. So our green water, this is our tank for green water. So I'm going to just drain and get some green water for here, and I'm going to pour it in. I'm going to siphon it into there. Okay. I don't know if I can capture that on the. Let's see if I can capture that what I'm doing, but maybe not. I'm not using a stand. That would be perfect if it would hold right there, but my camera phone isn't cooperating. Okay, it's the best I can do. But you can see what's going on. So hopefully, if it doesn't fall, please don't fall. I'm not touching anything. I'm going to take my siphon hose and we'll just pull out about 2/3 of the water, and I can just pull it out straight from here. And I'm going to put it in here and just get some. And green, this is good green water. It's perfect for harvesting right now because it's dark green. Oh, what I didn't tell you was the person that ordered those live foods had car difficulty. It was for a pickup, right? Okay, there it goes. There's the 2/3 full. And so she never picked them up. She paid for them, but she never picked them up. And she told me the car troubles she was having. So it will be. So it will be maybe, I don't know, another week or so before she picks it up. I'll probably refresh what I gave her. So, but anyway, that's the story. All right. Let's turn it around. I wonder, let's see, I'm going to go over here, turn around the camera, get back to where we were. So there's our green water, and I'm going to do that. What was her comment? I saw somebody posted a comment. Do you like paste foods and powder that you add boiling water to? I have a couple of 6 Snow Whites. I also feed zucchini every day. You know, thank you, Shady Grady, for your comment, because you reminded me of something that I just haven't done lately. I've been feeding them some of these algae pellets, but only because of time. But I should be giving them the zucchini, and you're right. I also have some soft foods I can prepare. So what's wrong with me? I don't know. Sometimes there's just so much going on. There's so much to do. So I'm going to use the green water to fill it back up, right? And let's see if I can do that without getting too. Okay, there we go. Now it's green water, and this is not ready. I would not use this actually for. I would not use that for the fish, because I don't want the green water to get into the tanks, right? Now next I'm going to take, where is it? Okay, it's behind me. Next I'm going to take, this is yeast. This is bread yeast. One person told me one day, like, the bread yeast that I sent, because I send a little of this, it's used with the paramecia culture, and I send it, and when one person got it, they said, this is not like the yeast that I get at my place, you know, this is not like the yeast I can buy. Then I realized that what I'm getting is, I looked at the bottle, and this is like a little capsule, kind of like the yeast, if you look real close, looks like a little capsule. This is for a bread machine. I don't think there's any difference, but that's what it is. So the bread machine yeast is what I happen to have, but I don't think it really matters. So I put some water. I'm going to get some dechlorinated water, and I'm going to put it here like this. And I'm just going to give it some of this yeast and make a milky looking substance. So I'm going to put like probably a couple scoops. This is a 1/32 scoop. It's very small. I use it for feeding my small. That's about 2 or 3 of those. And give it a stir. Stir it up. Kind of, when you stir it up, the idea is it turns into, in the water, it becomes more like not an emulsion, but similar. Because an emulsion means it's suspended. It's like it becomes suspended in the water. So I'm going to stir it up. It looks like almost like almond milk, in essence, because almond milk is also a suspension. All right, so good. Done. So what I will do is put the cap back on. I will put a little bit for this little tiny container. We'll just do a little bit, and that provides tremendous amount of nutrients and food for the Daphnia. Now, in a few more days, that will be back to what we just saw at the start, and it will be full of Daphnia magna and ready to go. This little bit of variation is always good, just a tiny bit, and that's it. They just wait, and when it clears up, it means they were eaten. By the time it clears up, they will have reproduced and produced all kinds. Now, what do I do with the rest of this, right? I will show you what I do with the rest of this. We're going to go down to a tank at the bottom, and this is another culture. This culture is Daphnia also, but this is Moina, and it's doing very well. This is a great culture. I'm using a 20-gallon, and I've used smaller containers before and not had great success. But now that I've been using this 20-gallon, they seem to really love it. It's plenty of water, and I can now pour in the rest of it. Watch this. I'm going to just pour it in here. Boom. So it had a lot of green water in here. I will put in the green water. But just by putting in the additional, in addition to the green water, putting in some yeast, the cultures go crazy. So this is Moina, and I don't know if it ships well either, but we'd love to try it one day and to see. Okay. All right, now, since we're here, look at this. The female, she's gone closer to the male. They're both long-finned, from the long-fin varieties that I had. But that Snow White is just like, she's hanging out. Maybe she's kind of looking them over. I don't know. I have not had success in this tank, but they haven't been in there too long. I took them out of the upper tank I had because I think it was too warm up there. Too warm, too warm. So, that's the gist of the great things. I just wanted to announce, and this is the big announcement. You've all waited. There's 20 of you and 21 thumbs up. Thank you. If you haven't thumbs up and you would like to, great. If you'd like to become a member, great. You don't have to. It's not an obligation, but I will say this. We're looking forward to the Expo, to meet people and to greet people, and there's going to be a couple of people assisting us at the booth. We're located right behind Fluval and across from, I think it's Bobby G's. who is got a big booth, and you can go to there is a place, an actual link where you can see all the different vendors and which ones they are. We're about the only few, there will be very few people that actually will be selling fish, and we're the ones. Now, I think there's a very simple reason for that, and because the fish that we have are very close. In other words, it's not too hard for us, and we'll find out after this year how much work is involved, but it's not too hard for us to get the fish over to the expo because it's only a 10-minute drive, maybe 15. That's how close we are. Amazing that we're so close to this event. But most people, they're coming from London, Ontario, in a couple hours drive. They're not going to be renting a big truck with a bunch of tanks, and I mean, how would they do that? It's just the logistics of it make it very formidable. But in our case, we looked at it and said, we're about the only people that have so many fish, and if we bring some, sell them, we can restock our tanks within 30 minutes. 15 minutes, grab them, 13 minutes back. We can go back to the house, grab some more fish, and we'll be looking good. So that is a great possibility for us. To have fish there ready to sell. We will bring some black rams. Unfortunately, the only ones we have are kind of small, but hey, small black rams are better than no black rams, and so we'll have some black rams for sure. So tomorrow, and this is what I wanted to announce, tomorrow, if you're watching closely, go to Aqua Malik, go to his channel, and we're going to do a duo. We're going to talk about the expo. We're going to show you the fish that we're going to bring and some of the setups. We're getting the setups ready tomorrow, and that means in our house, in our facility, we're going to set up some of the tanks and exactly how we're going to do it. And then it's going to be in preparation for 2 weeks when we actually move everything over, set it all up, and then start selling. So we'll see. But tomorrow we'll do a live stream together. It won't be on this channel, FishEZ. That's why tonight I wanted to do a live stream to let you all know that you'll want to tune in to Aqua Malik as we do a duo, as we'll do a together live stream, and over at the Grow Out Center, and talk about the expo. So join us tomorrow. That is September 2nd. Today's the 1st of September. And that means today's the first day of the service here. If you know what that means, please let me know. Send me a message. Today is the first day of the service here. Anyway, I don't have a time for because we're going to be doing a lot of things, setting up, and we're going to be doing a cleaning tanks. We're going to be putting aside the things. We have a lot of little odds and ends that we're going to sell. Like I have a brand new aqua clear filter still in the box, still shrink wrapped, you know. I'm going to put that out on the tables, you know, just have stuff for people who are interested, come by, you know, buy fish, and they need something, that we might have it. I will be bringing in the live cultures, because I can do that maybe a day or two ahead of time, get them all prepared, put them in a box, and then just bring them there for Saturday, because a couple day in the mail is no different than a couple day in a box, you know. So they'll be just fine, and they can be picked up at the expo. So thank you so much. So Meyer, did you go to the expo last year? What your comment makes me sound like you went there. I didn't make it. I didn't know about it. Where you said there was a lack of fish for sale. Oh, during your lunch break. Oh man, are you working Sunday this year? Do you have time off on Sunday that you can come on what would that be, the 16th? 15th, it's the 15th and 16th, right? Tomorrow's the 2nd, so then it would be 15th and 16th, right? 16th. Yeah, let us know if you have any availability for the Sunday. We could use our peoples there. Help with the fish, because the KOAC convention, that is the Canadian Association of Aquarium Clubs, is having the convention the same weekend. At the expo will be their displays, their shows, everything. And then at the nearby hotel, they're going to have the dinner on the Saturday night. They're going to have, yeah, there's going to be all kinds of activities from the KOAC side of it. So if I'm not at the aquarium.biz, I will be at the KOAC booth. So that's another place. The KOAC booth is going to be right next to the stage where Chris Biggs is going to be introducing all of his people who are going to be talking at the expo. For example, I think on Sunday there is going to be Mullins, yeah, Joey Mullins, and there's a couple of other. Oh, you know where you can find it? Just go to caoac.ca. Go to the expo link, and all the list of all of the speakers are there. So go to caoac.ca, and they have pictures of the speakers as well. And I know because I put them there. I actually handle the website for KOAC. But yeah, so there'll be all kinds of people speaking and things to see and do. No lectures from us. We weren't invited. We're not on that. We're not on that group. I guess we're not on that group list. And besides, I don't know what I would talk about. I know I could prepare. I give public lectures all the time, but they're not fish related. And you know what? I could give one on fish, but I'm not prepared for one. So I still feel like I need another 20 years or so of doing fish related knowledge. I don't know. Yeah, so Chris Biggs, entertaining, yes, definitely. And oh, you got to see, yeah, you got to talk to him. He's something else. So he's actually one of the ones that really encouraged Malik and myself to get out there and do something and get over to the. He's drumming up business for the Aquatic Expo, and I see Canadian Aquatic Expo is like the subset of the Canadian Pet Expo. So there's going to be a huge dog section. There's going to be a huge dog and cat, and then there's the fish, and then there's plants, and then there's reptiles. So don't think it's just fish at this expo. You can spend time, it's all about pets. So, our aquatic pets are also very, oh, Sandy. Sandy, hi Sandy. Sandy jumped in. Great to have you, Sandy. Yes, KWAC is having their convention. Biggs will be there. It's going to be a busy weekend. And if we're the only ones selling fish, I guess, I don't know, maybe people will see some fish. And mostly the reason we're going is because we basically want to, what's the word? We want to associate with fellow like-minded fish keepers and let them know that we exist. We sell, it's amazing actually, we sell, I don't know if you can really realize it, but we sell probably This, I mean, even next week, we sell hundreds, close to 1,000 fish every month to the local pet shops. We sell so many fish that it's just amazing how fish come and grow, and then they're off. You know, and they get placed in shops around the GTA, and the closest shop to us is actually Big Al's Brampton, and then there's also Fanatics, which is not very far away at all. But Fanatics, they have their own supplies for angelfish. They don't buy our angels, but they have bought a few other fish, the rams. But yet, it's the other shops that have never hesitated to stock up on our fish. So, I think this week there was, just this week there was like 500 fish that went out, and we have more going out next week. But don't worry, the Expo fish have been set aside. We want to make sure we have them. So, yeah, we have day jobs. Thank you so much, Shady Grady, for pointing that out. Yeah, it's just a hobby for me, and it's just like a side business of helping out the GTA. I mean, you saw all the black rams we have here, right? The idea is it would be so nice to not have to depend on imports from Israel. Wouldn't it be nice to have our local shops have plenty of black rams? And that would be nice. But we'll see if that comes to fruition. You know, we've got to get an upper hand on how to get these fry to survive. And then once that happens, the sky's the limit, because we have the stock, we have the numbers, and we have the tanks. It's just getting it going. So thank you, everybody. It's been well over an hour, approaching an hour and 25 minutes. So I'm going to sign off so I can get some feeding done here and getting a few things. It was great to be with you another Friday night, just to speak about fish. Did I catch all the questions? If I didn't answer your question, I want to make sure, just to make sure I saw it. So, did I miss any? Yeah, it looks like some people asking about the different live foods I have. Yeah, of course. Here's something I missed. Pelham Aquatics, he says we can try it. I have spirulina powder and yeast. Yeah, spirulina powder, I do have some of that too, and I haven't used it only because I have the green water. But yeah, I know others who have used spirulina powder, and that gives them the Daphne a go. We're good at it, so. So for Pelham Aquatics, I will try to post a new culture, the Daphnia. Were you interested in the Magna or the Moina, the smaller? I'm not sure which one you were interested in giving a go. Oh, Lucy's. Yes, of course. Thank you. Yes, our Lucy's I've already brought over to the, tomorrow we'll maybe feature that, but Lucy's are so fun. When you have a tank full of Lucy's, man, everybody loves those. And that will be a definite winner, because when people see catfish, you know, it's like, wow, you know. Okay, Magna, yeah, okay, great. I'll try. I'll post the Magna culture. Actually, the price actually is not dependent on the product. You know, they're all the same price. It's just that the price is based on the fact that how much time it takes me to process and to do and to seal the bags and take it to the post office and do all that. So it's just shipping plus the culture. I think all the cultures I offer them for about $10 Canadian dollars. So for you U.S. folks, it works out pretty good. But then you pay more on the shipping, of course. Yeah, the idea being that if I were to ship the Magna, I might try to avoid the bigger ones because they might just be more likely to die in the transit, whereas maybe the smaller ones, it would be like it would have a bigger, for the same amount of volume, it would be like a bigger tank for them, right? So since I have so many there, I could pull out a number of them. Then you would just grow them up. They reproduce very easily if you have the right conditions, you know. So all we have to do is get them to you alive, even if it's just one or two. They'll bounce back and you'll have a good number. Okay, Sandy will be at the Expo. Yes, so that will be awesome. Sandy Dowdy will be there, and I'm looking forward. Yeah, be sure to introduce yourself because obviously I don't know what the members of this channel look like. A few of you have pictures. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Jeff Kane has his mugshot on his picture, but he also has a fish. So he may look like a fish. I may be thinking fish. So if I don't recognize you, Jeff, well, I know you won't be there this year, but maybe one year. Can the Moina culture with the Magna? Don't know. Never tried it. Very good question. But the reason why I hesitate is because if the Moina are very small, and so they're in competition with the Moina, and the Moina are much bigger, and I have a feeling that you won't have success with the Moina, right? The Moina are going to be swimming in kind of like in competition, so I don't think it would work out well. From that, just from experience, I just know that it's not the kind of thing I would try because I don't see it. But let's say, for example, you wanted to feed the Moina to a smaller fish, very tiny fish, and you wanted to give it to them, which I have a big tank of Moina. I'm just waiting for my black rams to get big enough, babies maybe, to big enough, and I just spotted a small black ram, and one I didn't see. It's in the tank over there, swimming around now that I'm standing way over on the other side of the fish room. It's funny how that tank, like I said, I just throw odds and ends in there and they grow, and they sometimes come out of nowhere. But if I'm feeding the small fish, if I'm feeding very tiny Moina Daphnia, how am I going to get them out of the culture if, like you saw tonight, I'm just sucking them all out and then putting them in the net? I would be forced to feed both. And what if the fish are too small for the Magna? So I'd rather have it in two separate containers, two separate cultures. Then I determined, okay, I want to feed Magna to these fish, so I go to the Magna culture. Oh, I want to feed the Moina to this other fish, let me go to that culture. So that makes sense to me. Yeah. So I don't know if Steve is still with us. He usually chimes out much earlier than this. And Steve and I have been going back and forth on some communications about the worms. That is the brindle worms. He's got a great, fantastic, stupendous method, he says, that's reproducing the brindle worms in phenomenal quantities. So I'll be frank, I want to try it out. So we're going to try it out, and he's going to do a video. It's not out yet, but when it is, so we'll jump over to Shelter Aquatics and check out his video on how he has cultured them. And I'm giving you a shout out, Steve, so hopefully we'll build some anticipation for that video, and whenever I can learn how to mass produce the live foods in a greater way. Still there. Haha, great. So Steve, if there's a way to do it better, I am all for it. I want to give it a try. So I'm looking forward to that. I got the instructions. It's actually there on my posted comments for anybody to read. But you mentioned sponges, and I was wondering what thickness is the sponge that, and I'll go find some. Are they, I guess, thin sponges or just regular, like, you know, the kind you use in the kitchen? Which would be like, I don't know, 1/4 inch to 3/8. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, the tickets, if you buy them online, you can get them for $3 off, like $17 plus tax. If you buy them at the door, it's, I think, over $20 Canadian. So, gives you an idea. There's always that way. You just use the code that's there. If you want to know where that code is, you just go to the KOAC website, go to the Expo area. It explains it all. So for those who are fish people, you get the $3 off. Thin, porous. Okay, so thin. I had a feeling it was thin. That's why I was like, you know, I'm thinking sponge. You know, you can get sponges in all kinds. So I'll get the thin. Very porous. Okay. I'm going to start gathering this stuff. It includes sphagnum moss and some other goodies. So we got some things coming up, things to talk about. But I'm anxious for your video, and I want to see how it's done. And by the way, everyone, Mr. Steve of Shelter Aquatics has informed me that this new process includes a glass plate on the top. And just like I was showing the other day, the glass plate on the top, which I have in one of my cultures, has been doing really good. Unfortunately, the other two cultures, I got some fruit flies in there, so I had to clean them out last night. I was doing my best I could to get rid of the maggots that are growing in there and the flies. Oh, what a mess. But I just kind of restarted my cultures, and the way I restart them is I take them and I just take the hose and just really jet them out, and it gets rid of most. Hopefully, if I see any more maggots, I'll keep doing it until they're gone. But yeah, maggots are fine to feed the fish, but when they change into flies and start buzzing around, that's another story. So these are not wingless fruit flies. Yes, thank you, Steve. And video at the Expo. Very good question. Thank you for reminding me. Of course there's going to be a video at the Expo. What do you expect from two fish fam fish tubers in the same booth? I mean, you know, come on. You know, what is it we naturally want to do? Whip out the camera and say, hey, you know, let's take a quick look around and see what we got here. We're generating enthusiasm. I'm sure that there's no problem doing that. I have a feeling Joey Mullins will do that because that's his MO, right? I don't know. I'm no longer a member of his channel, so I don't watch his videos. The old stuff is good. The old stuff is really great. But yeah, but he'll probably be filming whatever he does. And so why not? We'll be doing it too. I'm sure everyone will be. It's Fish Fam there. And maybe we'll see some others. Hopefully. See you at the Expo. But anyway, I will live stream probably next week. But the week after that is the day for the setup of the Expo. So definitely in 2 weeks there'll be no live stream. You got to know that. It will be like yeah, exactly. So, you know, we're gonna live stream. It'll be like you're there. You get to see what the setup is and everything. So pay attention tomorrow and see what enthusiasm we can build for it. And now it's over 90 minutes of going. Yeah, okay, yeah, exactly, Jeff. But I don't, yeah. like minds think alike, but you know what? You know, can't say more than that. However, the fact that he's there could just very well generate interest and bring people, and guess what? Might be customers. So I'm looking at the positive side of things. So we're looking forward to it. And all of you, thank you so much for joining tonight, and thank you for your thumbs up. Thank you for your support and those super chats. Wow, wow, wow. Awesome. And I appreciate it very much. Medina and also um, Mayor, thank you so much. You've always been so supportive. Thank you so much for your being there and participating. And I look forward to seeing you again in person like before, but definitely when we can share some good things and get you set up with some black rams, right? I mean, I'm willing to do that. I'll be happy to do that. And of course, because channel members always get a bigger break, it's something to keep in mind. So if you're a channel member, you know, that could be something else, like, oh, okay, you know, you get definitely a break on things from aquarium.biz. Good night, everyone, and be good. And also remember that regardless of what you do, enjoy your fish, take care of them in the best possible way, and most of all, whatever you do, keep it real.